Welcome guys to another video. Happy New Year. If you liked that template that you just heard, there's two versions of it. I'll run through quickly. You can download them both below. Let's get into this. So first things first, in both templates it's the same content, it's just slightly different, just to give a different flavour. But essentially what we started off with was this kick, which was like this before. We then added some EQ to get rid of some peaks around about here and here, 215 Hz and 1000. We also took off the immediate tail of the kick using Kickstar. We then bounced it down to audio, and inside the low end track you can see kick, which is shorter, and we've also got some films in here as well. The low end track doesn't have anything on it, it's just what has the bass, the kick inside it. So let's jump into this bass and listen to what it sounds like. Sounds quite nice, bouncy, and I'm going to run you through exactly how it's made. First thing you want to do is open a new MIDI track and then play 3 different notes. Or you could play 2 notes, it's up to yourself, but when you're making this kind of syncopated, bouncy pattern, groovy pattern, you're best using 3 notes. I'm using B, F and D. Then what you want to do is drop in a synth of your choice. It's up to you. I'm using Drift. Then you want to drop in an ARP, and these are the settings that you want to have, or these are the settings that I've used. So thumb up, 16th rate, swing, stepping up 1. We've got a gate of 74, which is quite long, and then the distance. Step distance is 6 semitones. So if I turn the ARP off, you can hear how that sounds. In terms of sound design of the bass, very, very simple. We're enabling oscillator 1 using a sawtooth wave mixed with almost like a triangle wave, this wave here. We've tuned the shape to give us a kind of more gritty, hard edge sound, which to be honest sounds a lot better than the standard wave types. We've got a small amount of pitch envelope, or pitch modulation to envelope 2 happening here. Standard filter settings, so envelope 2, sending the modulation there, 23%. Driving up the resonance ever so slightly. We're taking a high pass, cutting below 40 Hz, and we're bringing the cutoff filter, the low pass cutoff filter down to 310. The envelope itself for oscillator 1 is basic settings, so we've got a short release, decay and sustain, and a slightly slow attack of 18.5 milliseconds, just so that you get that pluck. And oscillator 2, nothing is happening. That is it. Next thing, we have a very strong sidechain with Kickstar 2. There's quite a lot of EQing going on here. So I've done this because I felt it needed it. It's actually quite drastic EQing. But it kind of needed it with all the other things that are going on in this little template here. Warm-up lows, a little bit of saturation going through, not too much, some compression and some sidechain which was turned off. So that is your bass. So essentially all you need to do is once you've found and tuned your bass, you can choose 3 notes. And essentially more than 3 notes, like I have done there. And you can then change these notes after. And you can move the chord to change how it sounds. Of course, we can see how this sounds with the kick. Really nice sounding bass and very easy to make. Okay, that is exactly how you make this Hardgroove techno style bass. Now, a little bonus tip for you. If you don't want to use an arpeggio or an arpeggiator, you can use this function called the cycling on function or the envelope 2 cycling. And what this allows you to do is use the LFO to modulate the sound. So if I just turn this on, you can hear what it's doing. Solo with a kick. And I'll just press a note. So with the hold and the tilt, it's almost like attack and sustain parameters. But it's really cool and you can get some really nice grooving sounds. But of course we're not bothered about doing that. So that's essentially the bass. Let's jump into some of the other elements of this template so you understand what they are. We have this. So it's a very strong, sharp techno arp, and believe it or not, what I did was I replicated the arp from the bass and changed it ever so slightly. So smaller gate, but the distance between steps is 12 semitones, and I've added some random velocity drag here. And the sound is coming from collision. So sound design on this, again, very basic. We're using 2 resonators, pipe and beam for resonator 2. We're modulating the decay in this in the radius here. And that's what's creating this textural FM kind of techno sound. We have brought down this one octave, and we've left this with a slight detune of 21 cents. Okay, very simple, very easy. And then in terms of the processing, same sidechain. EQing, we're cutting below 250 and boosting around 600 Hertz. Again, the same compression. We're adding the vintage sampler to get a bit of crispiness, a little bit more driving saturation. And we've used 2 Ableton effect tools, Trunk Rattler, Space Time, and we've tweaked these to get the sound that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a really hard, gritty so this allows us to achieve that. A final bit of EQ here and some sidechain, and of course the auto filter to bring it in and out, and that's all that's happening here. Very simple stuff. I've panned this to the left as well. Just the other thing is a stab, and believe it or not, it's using a live preset, and I've just tweaked the macros here to get the sound that I was looking for, and it's a repetitive, simple staccato pattern. Okay, very simple. We're using send, reverb, and delay. Again, reverb effects, Ableton effects, nothing third party in here. And that's all she wrote. There's some percussion loops in here, which I won't go into. They're all pretty simple and straightforward. And that is the breakdown of your track.